Hello, Dr. Sakat.
Yes, ma'am. Uh, Dear participants, just we can wait for the other members to join.
Yeah, already three participants have joined,
Okay,
and we have made you a co-host.
okay,
And I'll be sharing my screen now, so your thumbnail will be there on the screen.
speak. Sure, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dear participants, we will be just starting. We will just wait for some other members to join because obviously we have a lot of aspirants who have been working in organizations. So we just have to wait and for 10 minutes, have a patience. So we'll take it forward within 10 minutes to start the session. And meantime, I will suggest all aspirants to fill up the feedback forms and any questions, queries can be put up uh, so that we can take it up after during the live sessions. Okay, very nice evening to all of you. I hope everybody is able to hear me. It's audible?
Sir.
Yeah, Aditya, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So,
Yes, sir.
okay, fine. So today, today live sessions which I'm going to conduct today is it's a very because everybody is not aware of that, and I want the aspirants to be aware of that. There is something which is very important to take it the first step towards initializing yourself or initiating yourself as an entrepreneur or an entrepreneur within an organization, or taking your own risks in your life and taking your starting your own venture. But there are few, because why we wanted these sessions to be included in this, because because there are few aspects. The aspirants, what happens? Let me tell you some of the examples which we have come across, even in universities, even with university environment, where students initially, when they join any universities, they have a they have a very high spirited with ideas. They have their own dynamic approach towards starting their own, putting the ideas into a prototype or developing them into a prototype and commercializing also. But what happens that is, because we this is what I have studied, and this we have found also, that the spirit of entrepreneurs quotient gets keeps on reducing like an product life cycle, right? So now, to overcome that, the government has initiated some of the incubatees or EDP programs, which helps an entrepreneur to to keep themselves motivated. Because what happens, it's not like a course curriculum, right? You complete a course for a 1 year or a 2 years course or a 4 year course or a 5 years course. It's not a journey. But what happens in initially, you want to be kept motivated. Like when you join any course in a university, because you have been your ultimate, your objective, that is you want to enter into a corporate world or a good salary package or CTC. But but an entrepreneur does not have any motivation, Jills, unless and until he does not have a funding sources or some investors coming into the picture, investing money onto it. But so what I wanted you to pitch today is to make you aware of one of the important thing of aspects, that is the government has started initiating one of the important propositions of motivating the early startups, that is with a scheme called DST GDC Incubate programs, which is being launched by Department of Science and Technology. So I'll tell you the how this model works, and I will also share you the link of the website where you can register yourself, and the initial early birds can start connecting with the incubators or incubating centers, where they can take the advantage, because every student does not have that funds, right? They need a platform, right? They're having a deal of ideas. They have energetic approach towards an idea, but ultimately what happens, that the ideas initially when they join any courses or they start and understanding the corporate challenges or requirements of the universities, they keep downsiding their passions, like entrepreneurial passions. The passion starts degrading. So what happens, they shift into the academic, because they ultimately think that is, because every parent expects that is their son or the children should be well settled with some jobs, salary jobs. But ultimately what happens, we have another study I will tell you, that is after 5 years or 6 years, those students who are working in a private organizations, or those who are already working in a, because the organizations they are working, unless and until you're not in a government jobs, like you're not joining as an MT or a graduate trainees or a management trainees, or you're not in a public sector companies, ultimately students are joining into a consultancy, or students are joining into a startup companies, where they understand the business model which has been functioning, they can also be the part of that. and they don't understand the business. They don't initially, they could not understand when before joining. They used to find that is the corporate business models are something that it gives them a limelight, gives them a CTC high package. But ultimately, what happens that every business or any startup or in any venture you join as an employee, the functionality of the startup or a venture which you are working as an employee has its own business model, which is also being supported by some funding sources, and to take the daily activity or the capital investments into it. So now every organization needs a fixed capital or a running capitals to run that business for a long term. Unless and until they don't have that cash flows, they will not be able to pay your salaries every month. So that is the reasons when they realize the fact after 5 years, why can't I had taken this risk and started my own venture into it? I could have done that. If you see the startups you will be working, because maximum of the students who will be joining the new corporates or as an employee, they will find the business models are being run based on today, if they've been issuing IPOs because they have initially got investments from the angel investors or from the banks, or they may be getting investments from the other sources, or maybe a family business. So ultimately, the business model runs on a financial parameters of infrastructures which being supported initially to take it to the next level of the business. So when we talk about in this sessions, and you already have gone through the sessions of week 3, week 4, week 5, we have been talking there of incubations and EDPs, support system which making today and motivating, keep motivating the entrepreneurs to take to the next levels. And the next levels, when we're talking about, let me brief you about this. What this incubate programs are, because this is an incubate program which was launched by in the hand of Honorable Union Minister of State of Science and Technology. It was in 6th September 2024, which talks about this initiative was a part of the Department of Science and Technology with Government of India in partnership with the IIT Madras, and they have been giving that opportunity and to identify nurturing promising deep tech startups who have been working in our science streams, and those who are working on the technology platforms, and they need a support systems to develop a prototypes, right? And this is I have an options. I have a solutions for the social entrepreneurs also who have been working in different fields. But this is also I'm focusing on. This is because today all the maximum of the startups are being glued towards the new technology trends, and they have a lot of ideas to come up in the to relaunch the prototype into the market, maybe in the form of an app, or maybe in the form of a product development, or maybe in the form of a solution base. So now government has taken up this initiative called as GDC Incubate programs. And I'll share you that link where you can start applying that after this, when I finish the session, when I take up your questions also. Now, this is a Center for Innovations and Entrepreneurship at IIT Madras. This is one of the initiative and they have been leading with some of the engineering and technology institutions. Because what happens, students, every university does not provide them a platform to grow themselves into, they already have a setup. Every institution is promoting entrepreneurship. But in India, why the entrepreneurship propositions are not being taking a shape in universities? So students should, that to make them aware of this fact, I wanted to pitch you that there are a lot of opportunities, as in initially you should not get demotivated and keeping your academic aligned with that. You also can have incubated support from your university or from the outside universities, where they are supporting innovators in terms of providing funds in developing the prototype and taking to the next levels. Because maximum of the startups who've been initially, those who are into the service industry, I'm not talking about that. Those people are into the core. I hope everybody is watching a Shark Tanks, right? So you find that is a lot of people, you find a lot of ideas coming on from service industry, somebody's coming from technology blends, or somebody is coming from the fast moving consumer goods. You have a different sectors, even in the healthcare also. The lot of startups who have been coming and they have been teaching into the the investors. They find that is, but they are investing money because they're putting in money from their ventures. But now, but that propositions, can't we do that? We do have an intellectual quotient with us, right? The only difference is that we lose that interest. We start keeping losing that passion within us. We keep saying, initially when we have that fire in our belly that, oh, this is my idea, this is what is I going to take it forward. You talk it, you spread a good word of mouth. But after a span of time, you start degrading yourself and saying, अरे नहीं होगा यार, अब इतना सोचने का time, we don't have the time to think on that. Let's focus on my academic. I'm getting into this academic. This is the problems comes up. But ultimately you find that is, ultimately you work in our same organization for 4 or 5 years and you take a CTC of 25 lakhs or 60 lakhs or whatever maybe. Ultimately, they start taking themselves as at one point of time, they try to find out either I should become an entrepreneur or I should take up an entrepreneurship. No, ultimately they want to divide themselves. If I don't create a profit center within an organization, I'll be a job hopper. And if I want to be an entrepreneur, then I should have my own client base. I can start my own solution base, which I could not have explored within my existing corporate or as in the corporate obligations you had working as a full-time employee. You could not have explored that. So this is what I wanted to teach you today to make you sure that is there are a lot of opportunities. You should not, any students who are there in this aspirants who have been thinking that is becoming an entrepreneur is a very taking a lot of sacrifices or taking a lot of risks, but it's not necessary. That is, you can also align with your academic or your corporate obligations, but corporate obligations does not allow you to start your own venture unless and until you don't leave the corp. But I want to say that is whenever you are there in the academic curriculums, you always have an opportunity to start a venture within a universities where university supports you. And I hope this understanding should get into your mind. We always do one thing is we always try to focus academic and we try to we ignore some of the passions we have in our mind, but we are doing the same. We are studying, we are mugging up with our course curriculums. Ultimately, we are developing some skills. We are trying to adjust with the corporate requirements. Then you tell me, if you're trying to get employed in some of the organizations, the organization is having the same startup proposition or the business model. Why don't you take this proposition challenge within the university curriculum and take that responsibility to start your own development of a prototype or an idea? Who stops you there? Yes, there are few universities that don't allow to do that. But now every university is allowing, if you have academic alignment and strong academic alignment, and you want to have your own entrepreneurship approach or an aptitude, you are having a freedom to work. There are a lot of universities that are coming up, like they're in some of the semesters, even they have allowed students to have their own propositions of entrepreneurship journey. They say, unless and until if you find that this entrepreneur journey is going to be an career plan for you, we are going to give you a platform. And that is an advantage to the universities also. It's not that they want to, they also want to take their students, or because this is also important, that is the university credentials or goodwill also lies if a student has his entrepreneurial journey starting from the universities. So I want that to happen. And those who have already passed out and they are still struggling out with the financial parameters, so I'll be coming to that portions. And we have already discussed in the last sessions also, which already the governments and banks are already providing that is. But we need a right kind of counseling to understand, where we receive a lot of mails from the aspirants and have replied. And that is the reasons we have, after the 7th and 8th sessions, you will find that is we already have chartered accountant who will be talking about the company registrations, taxation systems. They will be talking about the IPR also, intellectual property rights also, to make you convenient about the fact that is there are few, because if you're taking a journey of an entrepreneur journey does not only happens with the monetary aspects, because unless and until if you want to have a if you want to generate a revenue, the more important thing is you need to have a minimum viable product in your hand or a prototype product which is sellable in the market. Unless and until it's not marketable, it's very difficult that somebody is going to put a money into it. It's same thing. You as an when you try to approach any company or you're getting a placements in any of the companies, you try to put yourself into pitching onto the baskets or the thought process of the company's requirement, right? And that is the reasons you get a job opportunity with them. They understand what is their requirements. They want to try to match with your requirements on the CV. And then you get to try to enter into the corporate requirements. And you try to fulfill their dreams. And aside with that, you might be thinking that is, at the end of the day, finding out I'm doing the same thing for the last 4 years. And I'm just expecting every month, I'm expecting my salaries to come into my bank account. And that is, I'm happy. But ultimately, what happens in a long period of time, when you try to pull out your stocks and try to opt the 30 plus or 40 plus, when you start analyzing, if I've sacrificed my corporate experiences and my time, the values, what I have put into the companies, I might have changed 4 companies or 5 companies, but I have put my whole. You should always make sure that is the time and effort, the knowledge, skills you have put to the companies, you could have done for your setting up a small startups, which might have taken a shape. I'm not assuring that 100% every business takes a shape, but you could have taken a small shape. It does not, and without losing a chunk of your skills and whatever, it happens. A lot of people take this chance. This is not a chance, but it's a passion which you can have to drive that. Unless and until the same, that is what ultimately what is this? What is exactly the corporate requirements are? The corporate requirements are always trying to fulfill the customer's requirement, right? And that is the reasons you have been hired by the companies. Why don't you can do the same solutions for your company and find the clients for yourself? Why don't you put that time, efforts into that and your skills, what you have learned? That investment will be your own asset. And what you're doing for the companies and being an employee with your time and efforts you are investing, you're putting for somebody else for a particular span of your salary, what you get it every month. But ultimately what happens? You at one point in time, you get monotonous also. It gets monotonous also in my job routines. I'm doing the same job. No, I'm not happy. And you start getting a comparisons of a peer pressures. And you start saying that is no, let me change the job again. And you start hopping up and you showcase with you may be having a very designated designations of vice presidents or associate directors. But ultimately what? If you don't have a stake into that company or you don't have your own entrepreneurship stake into that, it's nothing worth. That is, you don't have a control on that ownership into that company. And if you want to create an ownership, either two way, either what I've said, being an entrepreneur, start it from the university levels and take it to a phase where you put the same efforts and skills and with a platform, because you need the funds into that. So university is going to help you out. And that is what I said. This is one of the initiatives which IITs and even all the big, good universities have started doing that. And this DST Nidhi program, which is being invested and which we have also we have started implementing in Symbiosis also. Now, in Symbiosis also, we are trying to we are resourcing out funding. Now we are started approaching to we are doing an event in Hyderabad also. Now we are going to pull out around 1,500 women entrepreneurs in Hyderabad. And this we are going to do with the women associations or women entrepreneurs associations. And the event is on 28th and 1st And we are trying to gather all the stakeholders. We have bankers, we have invested, even we have approached to the Ministry of Telangana also. This event is going to be a big platform to bring the women entrepreneurs from the social entrepreneurs also, to give them a platform to understand and even to make them aware what are the opportunity they can crowd out in expanding their business to a next horizon or to next levels. Because a lot of startups who have been established, they might not be aware of the technology or new trends which has been happening, or the research labs or incubators across India who are being supporting for a deep tech startups. What happens, like, I'll give you a small example. Like, there are a lot of startups, they normally start up with a propositions of a old business models. Now, if you talk about every business model has to be transformed into a deep tech startups, and which that creates a socio-economic impact at a scale. The scalability of the business is required. Now, dynamism is not that, it's not a brands which have been established like every brand needs to reform themselves. You have seen a lot of brands come into the market, vanishing up in overnight. That even we know that there's a lot of brands like BlackBerry had its market, vanished from the market. Nokia got it out of the market. Now we know the big brands have been out of the race of the brands, top brands. Now, if you take it that we are setting this example, I just setting this example, but the brand, if you want to, as even a small brand of yours, can create an impact of a solution impact. That is what they are doing. Every startups today, what they're doing, they're trying to understand the business propositions or a business opportunity which is not being created. Let me create it. Why don't you start it from the university level? Who stops you doing that? Every academic credentials does not make you define that as your passions. Nobody stops you to stop your passions getting vanished from the career ladders. So why don't you take this and create, and even tomorrow you should find it that is tomorrow you are giving an employment to the other. This is everybody talks a big blah, but this is a fact. You can take a challenge. You're not stopping that. Is everybody talks about that. You start a business, you can get a fund, and you can have it. You can create an opportunity, but that process needs a start. Unless and until any business, it is, even you start a small kirana shop, or you start a small manufacturing, or you can start a service industry. Every business has a small propositions of a business model to be transformed. And who helps that? The incubators and EDPs. Now, EDPs is what? Is entrepreneurship development programs. Because what happens, there are a lot of, because we come across in the last sessions also, there are a lot of aspirants, they are still struggling with the old business models. And who is going to support them? And that is one of the exercises which we shared with you. This is what we're going to do it for around 1,500 women entrepreneurs in Hyderabad on 20th of February and 1st of March. We are conducting 2 days event, and we want them to understand that the disruptive technology which is happening should not create an hindrance, and they should understand that as this disruptive technology can be transformed into a profitable propositions. So now this DST GDC DIP commitment share visions is fostering the talents of Indian researchers or startup, creating a new technology aspirations and venturing into multiple domains. And that is what the mission of the government or the present government, which is working towards, that is called Viksit Bharat of 2047. So we are all working towards. There was a lot of things which we have taken up, and like Startup India missions, then we came up. So now we are talking about the Viksit Bharat. Now, Viksit Bharat, they want that is every individual or a skilled person should try to create a skill opportunity or ecosystem. Now, we used to have a census, right, or the population census, but now every state government is going to identify skill census. That means how many people we are upskilling themselves around us. And this will be the new propositions which is a government is trying to focus on that. And I will also share how this function. I'll share you the screen. model also, how this proposition works from starting from the lab. This is I'm taking or telling to the students or even the ventures or the startup early bird startups who still understand that is an investor is going to knock the door and give a uh, uh, investors is going to pay the first amount of the money to take up the forward the business to a next level. No, that's not the way the things happens every time. You may be, that is the reason I wanted everybody to understand there are a lot of opportunity under incubations and through the EDP programs, which make a support to taking your ideas from the lab. When you start developing their ideas from the lab, I'm talking about the university labs and to the market space. That distance, because that is the problem. This is a major gap, which is the students start what I say, the losing their interest or losing their focus on entrepreneurial journey. So this journey, which the government is trying to overcome, they have started this DST Nidhi Act. And because why I'm saying this, because we have started implementing this process in our university. Now this year we have approached, we have taken some grants and we are starting investing onto our students, telling them to take up these propositions. Now next year we are again applying for women entrepreneurs to take up these propositions in our incubation centers. Now, unless and until we don't try to explore the opportunities, is sometimes difficult. That is, we don't understand the reality happening where a lot of opportunities still there to which is unexplored, and we are not making them utilize in our startup nations. Now, when you talk about who can apply for this early transition, early stage startups, let me tell you, there is a concept of technology maturity. We call it as a TRL. TRL, that is, I hope this full form should be aware with you all people. All aspirants should be aware of that. That is called technology readiness levels. Why we call it as a technology readiness levels means because there are, when you talk about when you're doing some research on a particular problem statement, right? Or we use the word research, but I'll tell somebody is having a good idea and he has observed that problem statement and you want to formulate that into a technology blend idea. And that becomes that is a part of an experimental proof of a concept. Once you complete that, then you get out to the next, making that idea or the concept which you're developing them into a prototype to be validated. That means you are trying to have you're trying to make that product or a prototype to be marketable. Unless and until you don't validate that idea, it's very difficult to take it to the market. So once you find that is the technology which you have with the proper validations or relevant in terms of and considering all the sustainability goals. How SDGs are the most important thing. Any product which you try to put it should address to the environment. It should have a good implementation of the social aspects. So when you take, there is always a defined technology readiness levels, and investors also look at this. I'm not investors means I'm talking about those people who want to collaborate with you, or those who want to try to understand they want to take your business propositions and try to do a collaboration with you. They try to understand what is the technology readiness levels are, or what is the service readiness levels are. If you're developing a technology base, so what is the technology which is making that to be more unique? And in terms of the operational, in terms of the market usability. So all these factors makes them differentiate. But when you talk about the service readiness, means you are developing, like there are a lot of service industries have come into the market, they left the market, they have even winded up the business also. There are few business models still surviving, like an OYO. I hope everybody wants to become a OYO. They want to transform their business into a what I say, that is into a OYO business model. But it's every time does not happen the same. Also, this is one of the important aspects which I wanted to discuss. And you make yourself, that is, whenever you have an idea, you want to take it to a technology readiness levels, or even you want to take it to the levels where you want to make sure it should be a service readiness levels, or it may be a technology readiness levels, where you're not putting you're trying to have a pull factors into it so that customers understand your requirements. So I will request everybody to try to identify this opportunity. I'll share that details on the chat box also. So you people can start exploring. Those people are from, they can start exploring to connect with some of the incubation centers nearby to, I hope from different states. They can try to approach to the universities and try to, now every universities has started doing these activities. Everybody is having a launch pads. They have started a launch pad and they are giving funding around 10 lakhs initially. And any of that, and you have to be incubated in that university. I hope those people from Delhi, or those people from Northeast, North, South, East, West, every universities has started launching. If you find it on the social media, every startups are taking this initiative. Even in East also, Odisha is also promoting some of the startups initiative to promote startups to take up to the next levels of the propositions. Even in North also, in Delhi, there are a lot of startups who are being incubated in IITs. So they are being provided. So ultimately, we don't want to reach out to that. And they're also supporting you with the intellectual property. And, and even I can give you one of the examples which we have started in Symbiosis, is that we have collaborated with one of the company. This is which we've been developing, because I hope there are a lot of neuro headsets which is being developed are not the, you will find a lot of in the Shark Tank. There are a lot of ideas on healthcare devices have come up, but now problem happens that is the scalability of that product does not happen after 2-3 years. They're still struggling to get an investors coming in to invest the monies. So to make that things very more prominent into that, so what we did is we have helped one of the company that, and even what we are doing is we are trying to support them with the seed fund also. And now we are trying to make them aware with all the, because they need to have to follow the ICMR guidelines also, Indian Medical Association's guidelines also, to make sure that is any devices which you manufacture, it is not used for clinical purpose, but is only used for a device, a purpose, and it's not for this device is for increasing our stress or focus. So this device, we have supported this. NeuroBehave is one of the company, we have supported them. Now we are given them a funding, and now we are helping them in terms of patent also. We already have an MOU with them. So we are going to help them with the patent. And next, what we're going to do is we're going to help them in the scientific research. That means to implement that into the market. So we are doing an initial study also, and that research will be published in a journal also, where we will be taking that research as an outcome base in terms of reaching out to the right audience. So that is what is very important to understand. And talking about the technology areas, where there are a lot of other social aspects of entrepreneurship happening in handicraft business. That is what I found, that is one of the area which I've been getting some of the queries, that is handicraft business. Handicraft business is like a business which needs to be scaled. You cannot have a scalability into it unless and until you are not identifying some export market, or because earlier days that was happened, like I hope everybody is aware that jute, right? So one time the jute industry was flourishing in India, and they were exporting a lot of jute to other countries because that was a biodegradable product which does not hamper to the environment. So now the jute industry slowly has vanished. So now people have started considering on other eco-friendly products which is being tried to identify, and a lot of startups have been working on that. But still they are not able to have a scalability, because the problem is that the investors try to identify the profitability, the same thing as an ROI, right? Where I can invest more money, where I can get the return of my money in a very higher rate. rather than investing money in other banks. So they try to put it in the startups. So you need to be very careful in terms of that is when you try to approach. What I want you to take this session as a motivation for you. That is, don't stop your passion. You can align. That does not, nobody stops you from aligning your academic or your what I say that is your corporate requirements. You both can align that in a proper way, and you take that support and advantage of that. So one of the advantage which I told you, that is the early stage startups can take this advantage through the what I say, that is DST Nidhi, Department of Science and Technology Nidhi. I'm going to share that link with you all. This is one of the, this is one example I'm talking about. There are a lot of thousands of examples out there, which you need to explore. That is, you need to find out that and try to take this opportunity as an first stage of your passion which you have, because ideas may not come every day, but the continuity of an idea to nurture that into a business model, it's not everybody's cup of tea. So now you need to identify how you're going to take that business proposition to the next level. Be happy. Even when I started this concept in the 2 years back, now I'm trying to put it into the platform of approaching the government and trying to identify the collaborators. Now I'm trying to put it into this form. When I talked about this, we got an investments. Now we have started approaching to the other companies to collaborate with us and take to the next levels of my business. Now I identify that as EV is going to be the more prominent market, is going to be the next future market into this energy sector. So which we have already been artificial intelligence applications happening. So now I have thought, now I have started doing that activities. That is, I started collaborating with the EV companies. So one companies already have been doing that, and we have started, even I might have shared with you, but I have started approaching. I have applied for some of the fundings from the government under the Anusandhan grants. So now we have been doing that, and that making us to be more convenient. That is, that is what I said. I did not left my job. That is what I'm trying to focus. That is aligning my research academic into the curriculum to make sure that is the translation research projects convert into my next stage of my startups, which I can take it as I can set an example to my next generation coming up, or my Gen Alpha or a Gen Beta can take up this proposition saying, this is what my dad started initially. Can I take it to the next levels? This is what exactly I wanted to pitch to you for this today's sessions. Any questions? I want to welcome that. I'm sharing you 1 minute. Let me share you the link. I hope everybody can save that link. Keep this link with you, and gradually you can send me the mail. There are a lot of, you can Mitu Paul has asked me that, she has sent me a message, that is, how can we elucidate on the women entrepreneurship. So to enlighten this, let me tell you, women entrepreneurs, the biggest challenge for them is what I say, that is the aligning the social responsibility and taking the business to the next level. This is what happens because we always have the respect for women entrepreneurs in India. Now, gradually, government has started giving greater opportunity for the women entrepreneurs to contribute to the Indian economy. So there are the few areas which even you might be watching some TV ads that SBI is giving a low interest loans for starting their own business. Me too. So you need to it's just a chunk, because this is a small area of what I say opportunity which has been created, but there are a lot of opportunities which is women entrepreneurs have been taking care, which has been supporting them. So I want you can send me a mail and you can just tell me that is which area you're working on this and how you want to if you have a business propositions and how you're going to take it forward, that business propositions to the next level, and what support you want from us. So what we can do is that we can help you out taking to connecting to the right stakeholders and incubators and upskill yourself. Because what happens, upskill, we already have, we are being aware of the social feeds. We know what is things happening around us. But the only thing is on how we want to equip this knowledge or skills in our passion or into our startup ideas. So that also we want, that is you can connect, because hopefully, Mitu, you belong to which place? Mitu, are you there? You belong to which place? Wow. So that is what is, because I when you talk about West Bengal still is trying to create startup ecosystem still. But let me tell you very honestly, you will find in every house, in 1,000 house, you will find that is one person is able to have his own entrepreneurial journey. They might be having a small business, but they're doing business. Therefore, they survive. It's not about that is they may not be in the Forbes list, but somehow the other way they're doing business. Yeah, Ayush has asked me this question, that is, how can we can overcome mindset of failing while starting a new entrepreneurship? Because let me tell you, that is mindset. When you talk about mindset, it's a self control mechanism. Nobody can control your mindset, but somebody can influence your mindset. But controlling your mindset is lies with you. And that is very important to understand, that is you need to differentiate yourself. Either your mindset, when you try to talk about that mindset of failing, that means you whether you don't have a control on your mind, or you are being influenced by the external factors, which is influencing you to be more demotivated. Who stops that? So what I'll suggest to you is, the first thing is that have the right person whom you can connect, who can understand your passions, who can understand your thought. Try to connect with the like-minded people and get motivated. Reading books will not motivate. I hope everybody knows that is everybody is reading books and taking the jargons. But what I'll suggest you is try to have the right mindset around you and try to identify, try to explore, that is what I said. The incubation centers and EDPs will always make your mindset to keep you motivated. They'll not distract you. And that is why I'm saying you, because this is a real examples which we have done that exercise. Why I'm sitting here to tell you that is because the reality of work which we are doing, we are trying to put it to your mind. And I'm not talking about any bookish knowledge which I'm sharing you. Everybody talks about blah blah. Everybody can talk about entrepreneurship, every category. But what I'm talking about is, this is a reality which I'm doing, which I'm sharing with you. And I'm not talking about something which is unrealistic approach. Every aspect of the business can be taken in a very good propositions, and changing our mindset, failing mindset depends upon an individual. If I would have not taken this risks in my organization, I hope if you see my profiles on our LinkedIn, I'm a teacher, I'm a researcher, I'm a startup. I've been initiating everything. Even I do my administrative jobs in a university, and I do every curriculums. Nobody stops my mindset. Mindset is something which I need to adapt myself with the changing. And even I tell you that is, I keep upskilling myself. And that is when the upskilling is not an easy task. That is, the changing overnight, the technology has been changing. Ayush, did you understand what I'm trying to put you? Ayush, are you there? Ayush. So that is what I wanted to tell you, Ayush. You try to connect with them like-minded mindsets around you and try to take the advantage. I hope you are a student, right? Ayush, are you a student or you are a employer in any organization? Let me know on the message box what exactly. So anybody has any other questions? Anybody else have any other questions? Okay. So Dinesh, you want to ask me anything? Yeah, Kushi, was sir, registrations for exam date has been announced, but for the exam registration, no option is shown at the portal where to do the exam registration. I hope you can write a mail, Kushi. Um, uh, we have you can write it mail. You can send a mail to us on this mail ID. I'll forward to my concerned department also. So they will reply you on the same. Once uh, once the portal is open, exam portal is open, we will inform you. You don't worry about that, and you will rightly get it your portal. You will get the link also where you need to register for your exams. So you need not to worry. You can put a mail to us, and we'll reply to you on that mail, so that you need not to worry about that. You're not going to miss your exams registrations. So we will take care of that, and we were going to put you on the right time, because the registration process of this course is still going. So 28th of this month, we're going to close this. So the new batches totally now we are trying to put it into it. So because it's an online course, so the number of people who are engaged in some of the activities, they in the live sessions, they're not able to join, but we try to make them motivated to come and join and interact with them. So thank you all. You have tried to pull yourself, pull your time out of your busy schedules, and even we are also working. Uh, Professors, we are trying to because we still take out some times and put for an evening sessions. That is the reason I put it the evening sessions. But still, we tried. That is next time we'll make sure that is the number game increases, and the students come into that platform and take out the time. That is most important thing. We are trying to pull that, and we'll try to push them, because obviously it's not a offline class environment where you can pull it them with an attendance. So let me try, and Kushi, we'll update you once you send us a mail. We'll keep you updated about your exam portal. You will get it on the right time. So your exams portal will be open before your exams in April. I hope it will be open in April. So May you have an exams. So you will get a sufficient time to register. And for your certifications, you know that is you just nominal fees is required. That certification is validated. It's also validated as a credit program. It's a 3 credit. Even this is also helps you for equivalent to or your regular course of a government as per the national NAP policy. So that also you can take it the advantage of that. Okay, anybody else? Chalo guys, thank you so much, and wish you all the good night wishes, and keep in touch. Any other queries you have it, you can send your mails. So we will reply you on your mails, and we hope your passions or your dreams should not stop at one point of time. You keep dreaming is right, but keeping continuity with your passions is very important also. So dreams can only make you realize that you're happy, but passion can only make you happy for a long period of time, because dreams can fulfill for a one day happiness, but passion is something which you make your happiness for a whole life. So you need to decide, you want to go for a dream or you want to go for a passion. Thank you so much. Good night.